Hello and welcome to Talk to Stu with me, Stuart Magoo. And this is a bit of an update video as well as a small episode of the Becky and Stu show. So this is just to basically say thanks to all my subscribers, first of all, who've been getting in touch and wishing me well, and also saying, "Where are you, Stu? What are you doing? We need you." So I've come back to tell you a bit about that, and also the Becky and Stu show, which in this particular episode introduces you to Edward and Sarah Brown, who have been helping out with the channel quite a lot and also run the fantastic Facebook group Benefits Support UK. And also a little look around the Naidex expo that happened earlier this year, which focuses on disability equipment and mobility equipment generally. So yeah, it was quite a good day out, and that's where we first met up with Edward and Sarah, and then after the event we decided to meet them for a coffee. And also you'll get to meet the Duke of Nuke as well, as he was there at the event too. So let's get on with it. It's been quite some time since I did a video of any kind, and that's been, generally speaking, due to both my physical and mental health. Things have been something of a challenge of late, which, hasn't been great, I have to say, but there's a lot of really positive things going on in my life at the moment, so I can't complain too much. The upshot of everything is that I am still taking a bit of a break from the benefits videos, and I'm going to be doing some restructuring of the channel as well. How things pan out in the future, I'm not entirely sure at the moment. What sort of videos that I'm going to be doing, I don't really know. It has been quite a stressful period, I think, for all of us really, with this whole green paper thing hanging over our heads and not really knowing what's going to happen with that. And indeed, most of the information that's flying around is very conflicting. What I will say is this: so far, no one really knows what is going to happen. And so worrying about it before the fact, in some respects, isn't constructive, and it's not good for your mental health. I'm aware that there are a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube all throwing opinions in, and maybe they've heard this from someone or heard that from somebody. That's something that I'm trying to stay out of at the moment, partly because it brings a load of fear into the equation, but also because, as I say, nothing has actually been set or decided yet. Even if things do get set and decided, the earliest these things are going to come into effect is 2026. And once the Green Paper consultation is finished and they start debating this through Parliament, we may see some changes to what's being proposed. Of course, at the moment, there is already quite a few MPs that have said that they are going to vote against these proposals as they stand and are pushing for those proposals to be changed quite significantly. And of course, we don't know, the bill may get dropped altogether. We just don't know at this stage what's going to happen. Equally, there's a lot of confusion still going on around employment support allowance and the transition over to universal credit. Some of the main issues that I've commented on before are still happening. Quite often people who are in the support group and should go straight over into the limited capability for work-related activity group under universal credit are being wrongly told that they have to submit fit notes or sick notes, whichever you want to call them, and comply with work-focused interviews. As I've said before, if that happens to you, you need to contact them through your journal and directly to the job centre. And if they don't reverse this, then you need to begin a complaint with your local job centre. It is your local job centre that is in charge of all of these things. One thing I will say as well is that your universal credit application and transition is completely separate from your personal independence payment claim, and one does not affect the other. So if for some reason you were to lose your personal independence payment when you got transferred over, then that would be an error on the part of the DWP and something that should and could be reversed. There have been some reports going around that's been happening. Personally, I don't think that can be true because those systems are completely separate. And the government is not known for linking up its computer systems in a way that works well for everyone, including their staff. If that has occurred, it is something that can be reversed because, as I say, no changes to the law have come into effect yet. Just bear that in mind. That's pretty much all I'm going to say on that for now. It is a difficult period for everyone, and I understand that. But it is important that you look after your mental health first and foremost. So I always use trusted news sources where I know that I am going to get the best type of information, and I'm only going to get the information that's essentially a fact from them. I'm not going to get a lot of conjecture and confusion. I'm going to go straight to the horse's mouth almost. So I will first of all use the DWP's own gov.uk pages and website to find information that way. I will also use the Disability News Service, which is mostly run by a chap called Jonathan Pring, who's a very studious and intelligent man and certainly knows what he's talking about. He tends to take a wider view of disability and the issues that affect people, so not just benefits, but it's a good way to stay on top of campaigns. I also look at Disability Rights UK, the Child Poverty Action Group, and Benefits and Work. These are really the best news sites. I also have a bit of a look at The Big Issue from time to time, but that can have a little bit of a tabloid element to it as well, although they are very well intentioned in supporting people around poverty and so on. Most of what they're saying is pretty factual. They were also very good at relaying stories of people like yourself watching this who are going through difficult times and the impact that cuts and changes to welfare benefits have had on them. But that said, I try and keep that to because it affects my mental health as much as everyone else. Benefits and Work is very good. Like I say, they give factual reports and you can subscribe to their newsletter. Links to all of these websites are in the description. So stick with those. Try and avoid the tabloids altogether, and that includes local news. They just talk out of the rear end, and it's always whipping up fear and confusion, and it's a lot of conjecture, things like that. So those kind of things best avoided if you want to know what's going on. And you'll note that I'm not referring you through to other people on TikTok or YouTube. And that's because, as I say, when I go for those sources, these are the sources that I always go to. Okay? That's not to say that people on YouTube or TikTok aren't doing a good job. They're the same as me. They're well-intentioned, and they are trying to provide people with support and help. But for me, as a professional benefits advisor that I have been for the last 12 years or so, plus all the work I've done in the third sector over the last 20 years, there is a commitment on my part to finding out the most accurate and impartial advice that I can to be able to provide that to other people. So that's why I'm fairly limited in the sources that I use. Anyway, so no criticism on anybody else. That's just the way I do things. Okay. Yeah. So that's that for now. I'm not sure when I'm going to come back and start doing videos properly again, or when that's going to be, or what that's going to be about, that kind of thing. Am I going to carry on doing the news updates? I'm not sure at the moment whether that's going to be a thing. I would like to get back to doing the Q&A sessions at some point, but at the moment they tire me out very quickly. I did a Q&A session on the weekend for the Ehlers Danlos Support UK team, and that was fantastic. It was really good to do, but then I was just laid up in bed the next day feeling really poorly. So I did that, but mostly because I'm pretty sure that I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome myself and going through the diagnosis process there, and I thought it was quite fortuitous that they got in touch with me to do that. So yeah, that was great fun. Not fun, but it was nice to do. I mean, talking about PIP isn't exactly everybody's idea of a good time, and in fact, if you go out on a party and start rattling on about it, probably going to lose some friends after a while. But you never know, it depends on the people you're with. Anyway, I'm rambling. The point is that just doing that had a really big impact on me, and yeah, at the moment I've got some really positive things going on which I need to focus on. So coming up at the end of the month, I will be getting married to the very lovely Becky, who many of you on this channel will have seen, and if you haven't seen, you'll see her very soon because she's in the next section. But yeah, so we're concentrating on wedding planning and all of those kind of things at the moment, so any spare energy I have is going to that, which is great. So we're really looking forward to that and the life that we're going to have together. And yeah, but there's lots of things to think about. Caterers, we've sorted the caterers, that's all good. Transport, flowery things that go on tables, I don't know much about them, but Becky's very good at that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that way. And yeah, and of course I'm in training at the moment to be a qualified counsellor, which I will be from next year onwards. So I have got quite a few things on my plate at the moment. I'm hoping that during the summer, or at the very latest in October, after I've been on my honeymoon, I'll be back to doing these kind of things. However, if something major happens in the between now and then, I may well come back and do a video on that. At the moment, as I say, nothing major has happened. There's just kind of tweaky bits going on here and there, and things very much are as they were. And yeah, so that's how we're going to carry on forward. So I'm going to stop rabbiting on now and introduce you to, first of all, we've got the Naidex visit that we did. Me and the Duke of Nuke, Phil, went up to Naidex and yeah, just had a look around, filmed some stuff, checked out what was going on there. Some really amazing equipment that's available for people with disabilities these days. So it was a really interesting thing to do. The only thing that I noticed about it, which was a bit disappointing for me, was that most of the focus was on mobility equipment. And while that's very important, there wasn't a great deal of exhibitors there providing digital technologies for people with sensory impairments, for people that have difficulty with writing as well. So where there was cognitive impairments, we didn't see much of things going on in that way. Also, the kind of little odds and sods of adaptations that we might use every day, small things. I was hoping there was going to be stuff like that. There wasn't a great deal of that going on either. So yeah, it was a good event, and we did get to see loads of stuff, so you'll see a bit of that. And then following that, we have the lovely Edward and Sarah Brown, who have been really supportive of this channel, first of all, and really supportive to many of you. And indeed, they run Benefit Support UK. The link is in the description. Facebook group, which is very good. And of course, Edward has set up his knowledge base, which is a very simple, straight to the point reference section for people to help them making head nor tail of things like transitional protection or whatever. So that's a very useful resource. So meet them and just find out a bit about them and their background. So that was a lovely interview to do, and we did that interview at a really lovely cafe just down the road from us called The Den, where the staff are really helpful and kind. And yeah, they're down at Stamford Bridge in Worcestershire, so if you happen to be in the area, go and check them out. They are very cool. And yeah, especially if you like Frida Kahlo, because they go mad for Frida Kahlo pictures and things down there. So yeah, it's really cool, really good place, and friendly for dogs too. So yeah, check them out. Anyway, stick with us, and that's what's coming up now. Thanks for listening to this point, and yeah, hope you're all well, and keep yourselves well, stay as sane as you can, and really please do not panic about changes yet before they have come into effect, because as I say, may be different to how it's proposed. Yeah, anyway, bye for now. Take care all.
Hello, I'm Edward.
Hello to Edward.
Nice to meet you. Hello, Stu. Long time no see. We meet face to face at last.
Yes.
Wow, can't believe it.
And we've got Sarah with us as well. Does Sarah?
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you.
So we are at Naidex, and I'm here with the Duke and Nuke as well. And as you can see, if we turn around, it's quite a big event. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to get around here and show you more things later in this episode. But yeah, it's really lovely to have both Edward and Sarah here as well, and get to meet them because they've been so supportive with the channel.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
What are you keen to see here today?
Anything to do with benefits,
Right.
and also like technology and equipment, especially to help people with communication.
Yeah.
Because with Sarah being dyslexic, she needs all kinds of additional support or tools and all that kind of thing. So it's helpful if we see what new advances are being made, etc.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I'm keen on. Education as well. Education tools and apps and anything like that. Because I'm really into technology.
Cool. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm quite into the tech stuff as well. I'm quite keen to see these fancy wheelchairs. Over here we've got wheelchairs that go up on 2 wheels, which is madness. So we're going to get some of that in a bit. Anyway, lovely to meet you both in person,
it's lovely to
for
meet you.
real.
Yeah, we're real. We are real people.
Yes.
I'm not CGI. You'll be sorry to know. The CGI version is a lot better than the real one.
Yeah.
Must have
No, it can't be true. Anyway, yes. So we'll be, probably seeing more from Edward and Sarah in the rest of this episode. Anyway. Yeah. So we're looking at these amazing powered wheelchairs. There's one here, it goes up on 2 wheels, so you can be about 6 foot tall without a chair.
I think it was the 6
There's a standing one over there. I mean, these have got to cost a lot of money. You've got a little off-road one that does a 360 all on the spot. Crazy stuff.
Well, what I would imagine you do is you take the controller and put it on the back.
So we're looking at this chair here, which might be suitable for my nephew, Phil's son, Harvey. Very cool looking car, mobility scooter thing, wheelchair. But yeah, very nice.
That's not necessarily the phone.
That can certainly go off the road and looks quite secure. Proper headrest that would be really good for supporting his head. So yeah, very nice. So this is Paravan, Mobility for Life. So this is the rock climbing thing with Nick Wilson. Nick's there in the chair, and we chat to some people. Don't know if we'll get to talk to him. But yeah, that is quite a wheelchair. That'll get you up and over a lot of things. We could do with that in Bromyard, really. Now we've got walkers over here by Reascent. Carry on through. And yeah, they are really useful. A friend of mine recently started using one of these. Don't worry. Yeah, he was saying it's made a huge difference to his life because he's not falling over anymore. Look at this thing, absolutely huge. Here's something I'm quite interested in, because I use a wheelchair from time to time, is a wheel that you attach to the front of the chair. And yeah, it works like a tricycle. Pretty cool piece of kit by the look of it. Very nice. We've got some proper Professor X type wheelchair going on here. This is pretty impressive stuff. No steering wheel, no need to do much at all. It just balances itself. Incredible. And that's from adaptability. I suspect it will cost the earth, but it looks fucking cool. Here we've got like a robotics exoskeleton, which looks pretty cool, to be fair. Might need one of these myself in the future. Phil will be modelling it for us later. Looks really good.
Would have no problem building a shed with that.
Says he'll have no problem building his shed with that. And there we go, we've got a stand-in walker with body harness there, which would be quite useful for Harvey. Helps kids to learn to walk or stand upright. And Phil's just knocking down the display. So, this is a glove that helps people to straighten and close their hands by pushing air into it. So that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
You see there, you've got
quite a simple control system as well, look.
simple control system.
Individual fingers if you need to.
That's cool.
That's cool. A pack on his waist that holds that device, and it allows him.
Pack on his waist that holds the device and allows him to
basically support his movements in carrying out dexterous activities like chopping and making drinks and what have you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Clever.
Here we go, we got a bit of rock climbing going on. Wouldn't catch me doing this for love nor money. But fair play to anyone who does. Looks like someone's going to take a risk. But yeah, we won't film her. She'd probably find that a bit annoying. That guy's really going for it. So here we go, we've got a mobile hoist there, which could be quite useful for Harvey. It's quite tall. So, yeah. Yeah. The only trouble is it's got quite a big wheelbase. So, I don't think it's much wider than a wheelchair, but it's quite long.
I mean, I suppose.
About shoulder width. Okay.
Delighted to be here with Edward and Sarah, who have travelled cross country, all the way from Blackburn to the Midlands, not just to see us, but there was also a special event that both Edward and Sarah attended, and Stu. So yes. What brought you here, Sarah?
Coming to the NEC to the Naidex, which is things to do with disability, from wheelchairs, scooters, walking sticks, rollators, mobility.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. For rollators, disability cars, you name it, they had it there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a big exhibition company, and they organise exhibitions on an annual basis. March next year they're holding the next one down at the NEC again, so we'll be attending that one as well. We stayed nearby in a hotel at Coles Hill, which is a lovely little town, so we really enjoyed it. We've had a smashing time coming down.
Yeah.
Plus the bonuses, we've had a chance to meet Becky and Stu.
Yay!
So
And Odin.
there we go, and Odin.
But not
yeah.
Poggy and Bonnie, and
No, not yet.
Dexter and Oreo couldn't make it this time.
No,
but I've heard
never
that they
mind.
possibly could in future.
Well, that's right.
They've got their travel.
There is a possibility
Yeah,
because
their
we do
travel
have the facilities.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's smashing.
So-
It's nice to meet everybody and meet up and be working together like we are doing.
Brilliant. It's really good. Before you came, you had been to the NEC before, is that right? But
Yes, that's
Sarah
right.
hadn't.
My
No.
first time.
Yeah, and you were perhaps a bit worried about coming here because it's such a big place. But how was the accessibility, and how did you find actually visiting the NEC for the
The
exhibition?
accessibility was very good. We hired
The
mobility
Yeah.
scooters prior,
Uh-huh.
and we just went to customer service, and there was another place near where where it was held, where you could pick your scooters up as well. So they had one at the customer service, and they had another area where you could actually pick your scooters up from there.
Yeah.
So we found the accessibility very, very good. And plus they had disabled toilets, and
Great.
they had another toilet where they could, for like changing spaces and stuff, and it was really, really good. I found it really, really good for accessibility, and people could get around, and where you could get past was wide enough for everybody to get past and things.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And the parking was okay as well?
We had a bit of trouble on the first day,
Okay.
finding somewhere to park, but eventually we found somewhere to park, and then on the Thursday we were shown to a better place to park.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so they were like guiding us to like a big tent thing,
Okay.
so we could
It's a hall.
like another hall
Like a
outside.
big garage.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you could like just drive in and
Yeah.
then park up, and then that were it.
And there were
So they did
marshals that
increase.
directed you where to go
Yeah.
and things. Yeah, so
Fab.
and you had to show your blue badge and that when you went in because we've got a separate area for people with blue badges.
Brilliant.
And there's the other area for non-disabled folks.
Yes, yeah.
There's parking in normal,
Yeah,
in
of
inverted
course.
commas, normal car park.
Yeah.
But we went in the blue badge car park. So and it was right near Hall 20. So they put the scooters all outside Hall 20, which is where Naidex was being held. So you didn't have to, and
So you
also
thought of all of that.
they were very good. It was very well organised.
And
Yeah.
another good thing was they put shuttle buses on as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
great. That's really
Yeah.
good.
So if
as well.
if you were parked to the normal parking, they put a shuttle bus on for you there, or if you were parked in the disabled part, they put another shuttle bus on from there as well.
Yeah.
So it was all really
So
well
it
thought
was-
of. So nothing to worry about in
No.
that respect.
No.
No. And also, if you do contact them, if you do have any difficulties like that, and you contact them and inform them in advance, you say they'll do their best to accommodate you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and you've never seen such a collection of wheelchairs and electric wheelchairs and wheelchairs with just two wheels. Really modern, fancy-looking things. Amazing. They're just amazing. Like some of them were more like space age.
Amazing.
I mean, I don't need a wheelchair, but I fancied getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making it
It's
cool.
Really,
Yeah.
it looked real cool. It matched my glasses, actually. That was one of the main things I was
Very cool.
focusing on, looking for the orange version of those wheelchairs.
There were exoskeletons as well, Stu told me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they were.
Right,
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely insane. Like, so
Amazing.
good. Yeah. I'd love to see
Absolutely
that.
Brilliant. Yeah. Maybe you could come next time, then next year.
I'd love to, yeah.
Maybe we can organise next year because Me and Sarah want to go next year as well.
Yeah,
don't we?
yeah. I need to get it in my diary. It fell with a bad time for me work-wise,
Well,
unfortunately. But if I get it booked in far enough in advance,
That's what I mean, in
then-
advance. And also, well, you're local enough, aren't you, to travel there and
Yeah,
that as well.
exactly.
But unless you fancy staying at the hotel where we were, because it's lovely.
even
You might
closer.
you might fancy a treat yourself in that
Yeah.
way. Maybe we can see what's what. Anyway, whatever. Who knows? Yeah, good.
Good. So, what were each of you? Just have a little think. What were your top 3 things? What were the best 3 things about Naidex?
For me, it was meeting the folks from Neo Walk, where I get my my sticks
So
from.
everyone
Very
stick.
cool.
Yeah.
So
very
that's
cool.
that's one of them.
Yeah.
And a company what does fresh wipes. But these, if you can't get into a shower,
Yeah.
you have that wipes, like like big baby wipes,
Yes.
and you just wipe them all over, and it's just like a shower, but in a cloth.
Yeah.
And they do bonnets to wash your hair with,
Amazing.
and they do intimate wipes,
Yeah.
and they have wipes for your pets as well now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do some of those?
Yeah.
Do they make them quiet and behave? Calming wipes.
Depends how many you eat.
Yeah, but the fresh wipes are biodegradable, so they're
Good.
very,
Not
very
bad
good.
for, not bad for the,
Not bad for the environment.
Excellent.
So, yeah, that was what
top 2.
top 2 for me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What were your
My favourite things.
favourite things?
I think it was mainly seeing the selection of different items and that there, because
Yeah.
there's such a big market for disability products and all that.
Yeah.
And especially with all the scooters and wheelchairs and all that, it's absolutely unbelievable. And even the people that were attending as well, who had wheelchairs and scooters and all that,
Yeah.
there was a vast selection and stuff. And yeah, it was nice to see. So and some of the technology that goes into some of these wheelchairs. There was one that was like an all-terrain wheelchair, but it was more like one of these. Like amphibious sort of thing where it could go
Cool.
anywhere, it could
Yeah.
go. There's the guy that designed them, he's able to go up and down stairs and that in his wheelchair.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. Yeah, so
Because we do find on a day-to-day basis when Stu is wheelchair bound, essentially, that the problem isn't really the chair itself, it's the accessibility of the area. So
Yeah.
not enough drop curbs, so many places are just not accessibility friendly.
No,
that
that's
kind
right.
of device or help is groundbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it
It's
is,
really
yeah.
excellent.
well, that's the difference between the social model and the medical model of disability. Because
Exactly.
if you look at the social model of disability, you're looking at it's not the disability that is the problem; it's the environment. And if the environment is adapted, and it's similar with employers as well, if someone is claiming benefits and they're willing and able to work, that's fine.
Yeah.
We don't want to stop anyone from working if that's what they want to do and they know they can do it. Excellent. But the thing is, a lot of the time, employers need to make reasonable adjustments.
Yes.
So a lot of it really is down to the employers. It's not down to the disabled person.
No.
It's up to the employers to make the necessary reasonable adjustments. The dilemma is what is reasonable in one person's mind is unreasonable
Not
in
me.
somebody else's. So
Exactly.
there's a bit of a dilemma about what I call reasonable and what someone else calls
Yeah.
reasonable. So, but if the reasonability means that it keeps someone in work, because a lot of people who are disabled have had to give up work, in order to to survive
Yes.
with a disability that they didn't expect, didn't want, didn't need, was kind of imposed upon them for whatever reason or however things happened, and so that's where they need the extra support.
And it all depends on whether you're an expert or an expert by experience as well.
Exactly.
These are the
that's
two totally
that's the
different.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, I mean, I've got the advantage in that way because I'm a benefit claimant and I'm
Yeah.
also a benefits advisor,
Yeah.
so I can kind of switch
Double
heads
expert.
depending on who. Yeah, I'm a double
Yeah,
expert.
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have got lived experience of a number of conditions.
Yeah.
So, and also that gives me an insight to other people's conditions in that sometimes.
Yeah.
And also helps me to be non-judgmental when I'm supporting people. There's so much judgmentality in that around, and Everyone, calling people benefit scroungers and all that. Oh yeah, they live in the lap of luxury, and the poor taxpayers funding them all and all this nonsense. The thing is, we're all taxpayers. Everybody is a taxpayer. So when they talk about taxpayers, I say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, guess what? I'm a taxpayer in that as well.
Yeah.
But 90% of things that we buy, purchase, services, and everything, as VAT applied.
Absolutely.
So, whether that stays at 20%, we're not sure at the moment. But who knows? But yeah, so I mean, we're all paying 20% or whatever percentage of VAT on services.
Every time you do a shop, every time you eat out, every time you fill your car up.
Yeah. Well, we basically, at the hotel that we stayed at, we paid £64 in VAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so you see what I mean there? So £64 of the payment that we made to the hotel went straight to the government.
Yeah.
Which to me that's crazy, but there we go. We don't have any choice, so we pay. Everyone's paying tax. We pay tax on petrol and almost everything, apart from a few odd things that we don't pay VAT on for now, because you never know how things might change.
I mean, you are an ambassador. Both of you are ambassadors, like Stu, for disability rights, and many of our followers know about the work that you do to help. But if you'd like to talk a little bit about that for those of you that may not know Edward and Sarah and what they're doing currently
that's fine.
To help everyone.
My story starts back in the 1990s because I was disabled myself with mental health issues, and to help me in a therapeutic sense, I decided to do voluntary work. But I can't manage employment, like being committed to 40 hours or whatever hours a week. That's unsustainable. So instead, I decided to feel productive and to help me feel what I call my feel good factor. I decided to start doing voluntary work. So I had a load of help from the CAB at one time in Withington in Manchester, because I was homeless, almost just a few hours away from being on the street. So I turned up at the CAB at Withington and told them my situation, and they got me sorted out. They've got me in a bed and breakfast, and then eventually got into a homeless hostel. Eventually I got my own place, and my life started to settle down and get a bit more, a bit less chaotic. So and so from that, because the CAB was so helpful initially, I thought, right, I'm going to volunteer for the CAB then. So I became a volunteer with the
Paying
CAB.
It back.
Exactly. Yeah. It was an ideal opportunity. When the opportunity arose, I grabbed it with both hands. I thought, right, I'm going for this, and so that helped me feel good factor. And also I learned a lot of skills in supporting and advising people.
Yes.
And at the CAB, I was a generalist advisor at the CAB, so which I loved, because you never knew what was coming through that door. It could be anything, absolutely anything under the sun. It could be, and that's what I liked about it, because every day was different. You met different people all the time. Few of them were regulars, some of them one-offs, all that kind of thing. But I loved the variety in that of it, and I had a brilliant manager in that at the CAB. She was very supportive. So so I did that for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And then things changed, my life changed, things moved on and so on. And so since then, I became an independent benefit advisor, mainly because once I told people about working as a volunteer with the CAB, he said, oh, have you? Oh, right. Oh, well, I've got a friend who has his PIP stops and that, and somebody else said, oh, he's just started to claim job seekers and all this kind of thing, and he's just had an appeal and he's lost his case or whatever. So that kind of, I was thinking, no, I can't have that. No, I'm not happy with that. So I kind of got my activist kind of act together. Thought, right, I'm going to do my best to sort these things out.
Right.
So that's where my motivation comes from, for helping people and supporting people. Plus it helps my own mental health as well. I feel productive, part of my community. My feel good factor increases, all that kind of thing. So it's therapeutic in that sense. Plus I get to meet lovely people like Becky and Stu. And a lot of the members of my lovely group and that as well. Benefit Support UK on Facebook. There's a link in that. Stu's got a link in that to my group and everything on his channel and things. And if you do a search on Facebook for Benefit Support UK, you'll find me and me and Sarah. We're admins of that group. So you'll see, you're welcome to join us if you need that kind of support. we look forward to supporting you and you being involved. And I met some wonderful members in that of my group, absolutely brilliant folks. We're all brilliant, like a little family all together, all supporting each other. Don't have any nastiness or trolls or everybody. You have to give us your real name. You know, no one's anonymous in that in my group. We don't allow that. So if you're genuine and you need support and help, you're welcome to join us.
Good. Sometimes it's good for people just to know that they're not alone as well, isn't it? And to have somewhere to go to and touch base with other people as well.
Yeah, it's like a little family as well.
Yeah.
As I say, when as part of the membership conditions, people have to be supportive.
Yes.
You know, if you're not there to be supportive, then you're not welcome in our group.
Yeah.
You'll soon get banned from the group if we see that anyone's being unsupported. Let's call it unsupported. Not going to say anything nasty, but if someone's being unsupportive, let's call it.
That makes sure it's a safe space,
Yeah,
for
that's
everyone,
right.
and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what it wants to
Yeah,
be.
that's what we do. We make it a safe space.
Yeah, that's good. Sarah, what's your involvement with it?
Well, I'm an admin.
Yeah.
Are
you the Becky?
I'm the Becky to Stu.
To the stew.
To the stew.
Yeah.
So I'm the silent admin.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge of adding people, welcoming people to the group. I post a welcome post every Saturday at 9 o'clock, and that stays up. So it's just like welcoming people, any new people what join the group. Welcome to our group. This is what we're about, and whatever you need, you find it.
Brilliant.
So I'm learning off Edward. If anything Edward finds, he tells me.
Yeah.
And I'm learning it.
Same here with Stu. It's really interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I don't know about you, but my drive just comes from really wanting to be helpful and actually just letting people know that we care. Because I think that's the most important thing. I know it sounds really sort of, well, it's a bit soft, but I just think it's completely invaluable. That kind of support is so important.
And plus I help out if there's any, and like if there's a life of a claimant what needs support, and I can say, well, I'm a wife of a claimant and I'm a claimant myself, so I can say, yes, this is right, to a degree, and then if it's something I don't know, I could just say, if you private message Edward will jump on and take it on. So if it's something me personally I can take on, I say, do this, and then if it's something I don't know, I just say, just PM Edward will jump on it.
Yeah,
well, I'd just like to clarify there then that actually I am a shadow version of you. You need a Sarah.
we all need a Sarah.
We all need a Sarah.
Totally. Brilliant. Well, it's been absolutely fabulous. Stu, sorry you're not on camera this time.
Yeah, I think that makes a nice change.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. People can see Stu on his videos anyway.
Yeah,
that's
everyone
true.
knows.
They're probably fed up
Yes.
of seeing him by now, so they
Yes.
have a nice little change, isn't it, folks?
No, thank you so much for your time, and we're going to go now and probably have another natter and a nice drink. So, bye.
Yeah, brilliant.
Bye.
Take care, folks. Bye for now.
Bye.